am Jenna, and this is Gin and Tonic. If you are a cocktail drinking nerd like me, hit that subscribe button and join me for a drink. Today's episode is my entry into the hashtag Spice on the Rocks 2021 challenge. This is being put on by Rob with Rob's Home Bar, Vino from 60 Second Cocktails, and Dave from Booze on the Rocks. And the rules to the challenge are that the drink, of course, has to be spicy. You have to include the hashtag Spice on the Rocks 2021, and it has to be submitted by February 1st, and I think I'm just going to beat that deadline. So I was giving this a little bit of thought, and I wanted to do something different. So I decided to do a gimlet, and it wouldn't be an episode of Gin and Tonic if there wasn't some history to go behind the drink, right? So what is the gimlet and where did it originate? Gin and lime juice was given to the British officers to prevent scurvy, which was caused by a deficiency in vitamin C. The name is said to have originated with Rear Admiral Sir Thomas Desmond Gimlet, who was an officer aboard a ship and used to prescribe gin and lime juice to prevent scurvy with the officers. Of course, gin wasn't available to the low-level sailors, I guess we'll say. They were given rations of rum, so they used to mix rum and lime juice together. They called it a grog, and it became so wildly popular that this is where the name limeys comes from. The other story behind the name is a hand tool that was used aboard ships to drill holes into barrels of spirits, and this was called a gimlet as well. So either way, it originates with the British sailors, and I'm gonna make you one today. The original gimlet, as defined in the Savoy cocktail book, was equal parts of Plymouth Gin and Rose's lime. I am going to be using fresh lime juice today. I think whenever possible you should use fresh lime. I'm also going to be using some honey syrup in place of, I guess, my simple syrup. And then for my spice element, I'm going to be using the Serrano peppers. I like these so much better than jalapenos. One, they have a lot more spice for how small they are, and I think that they have a little bit better flavor. They're not as peppery. I know that sounds kind of stupid, but I like them. So that's what I'm gonna be using today. I'm also going to be using some fresh basil and some cucumber to balance out the heat. Step one, I'm going to prepare my pepper and my cucumber to go into my glass. I'm going to muddle those before I do anything else. So I'm gonna do about 2 inches of cucumber that I'm gonna chop into some rough pieces. For the Serrano pepper, it's very spicy. I can handle a lot of heat, and I only use about 4 slices of this. I'm going to keep the seeds in there. A way that you could make it a little less spicy is to strip the seeds from it before you put it into your glass to muddle. So do this according to how much heat that you like. I'm also going to go ahead and add the fresh basil, which my plant is kind of pitiful and little, so I'm not even gonna strip these leaves from the string, but I've got, I guess, about 8 leaves here that I'm gonna throw into there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add my honey. I'm gonna do 3/4 ounce of my honey syrup. And if you wanna make this yourself, I do have some videos of this that I will link above for you. But it's just equal parts of honey and water, and then if you want to add any other flavors to it, like ginger I did recently, you would just simmer it with the ginger a little while, strain it, and then it's ready to go. So I've got my honey as well as my basil, my serrano peppers, and my cucumber, and then I'm going to muddle that down. And then I'm gonna add the rest of my ingredients, which is just lime juice and gin. So I'll go ahead and add the gin first, 2 ounces of gin. And then for limes, anytime that you use fresh citrus, you wanna roll it before you cut it. And this is going to help release all of the juices that are inside of it. You also want to cut off both sides of it before you press it in your citrus presser, because that part is bitter and really not necessary to squeeze into your drink. And I'm gonna do equal parts of the honey syrup and the lime juice. So I've got 3/4 of lime juice to add. And now it's time to add the ice and give it a good shake. And I am going to use 2 strainers here. I'm double straining this because there's shards of ice, there's little pieces of basil, there's little pieces of pepper and seeds, and I don't want any of that to go into my drink. This is served up either in a martini or a coupe glass. You can see that second strainer really catches everything, so you end up with a smooth drink. For garnish, I'm gonna use a cucumber and a lime wheel. You just put a small slit in those, then they will sit right on the side of your glass. All right, let's give it a taste. Whew. This clears your sinuses right away. I do like it though. I'm really glad that I added the cucumber and the basil because it adds another element to it to really balance out the drink. So you taste the cucumber obviously right away. Then the pepper hits you. It actually hits you. It hits you at the same time as the cucumber hits you, and then it kind of dissipates and the cucumber stays with you. I definitely recommend giving this a try. This was really interesting. Cheers to you, Rob, Vino, and Dave. Thank you so much for putting this challenge on. What a great idea to bring the community of all of us together through this platform, which I know has been very meaningful for a lot of us, especially with everything that's happened this last year, myself included. For all of those of you tuning in, thank you so much for supporting me and watching my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I will be putting out videos weekly. If you have any comments that you'd like to share, if you make this, if you think I'm nuts for putting Serrano peppers in this drink, you can share that too. Thank you so much. I am Jenna, and this is Gin and Tonic. Cheers.